And now it's my honor to introduce our special guest, John Smaby. John is the 2019 National Association of Realtors President and hails from Edina, Minnesota. A second-generation realtor, John has been in the industry for 40 years. He is a broker at Edina Realty, where he specializes in residential real estate. John is a member of the Minnesota Association of Realtors and has held numerous leadership positions there, including state president in 2015 and treasurer in 2013. John was the RPAC chair for 2013 to 2015 and the RPAC trustee chair in 2014. That same year, he chaired the Public Advocacy Committee. In 2013, John received the Ed Anderson Political Achievement Award, and in 2014, he was named the Minnesota State Realtor of the Year. John has been dedicated to serving his industry since the beginning of his career. While at the Minnesota Area Association of Realtors, he participated in numerous committees beginning in the 1980s, including the professional standards, education, communication, risk management, and MLS, to name a few. He served 2 terms on the board of directors, and in 2004, he served on the regional MLS board of directors. John's spirit of service doesn't stop at his profession. In Edina, he has led the Minnesota Youth Forum, Washburn Community Ministries, and the City of Edina Adult Education Board. He has also tutored students at the Minneapolis Washburn High School. He has been a member of the Edina Rotary Club and the Edina Chamber of Commerce. John has been married to his wife, Linda, who is also a realtor, for more than 30 years. They enjoy spending time at their cabin in northern Minnesota. John, welcome to New York, and thank you for your leadership.
Oh, looky here. Here comes Marge, don't you know?
Oh, hi there, guys. I brought you some of my famous green bean tater tot hot dish to celebrate another successful year in Minnesota real estate.
Oh, you betcha, Marge. I'll be taking some of that. You know, ever since the Minnesota Realtors realized how important RPAC is to our industry, we have had just a gangbuster year, you know.
I know, you betcha.
Oh, come on over and take a load off, you know?
How about that? I'd like to try a little bit of that action.
Oh,
Oh,
Would you
my.
like a little of that?
That's some good hot dish. Hey, I've been thinking, don't you know, that RPAC has been taking care of our bad issues for almost 50 years.
Yeah, sure has. You remember when they proposed to put a tax on our commissions? I couldn't believe that one.
Yeah.
Or can you remember that time that they wanted to increase our deed transfer tax by 50%? No good, no good. And don't get me started on the rental moratoriums. I don't know what I would do. But we've, got to remember the good times with our friend RPAC and what they've done for us.
You betcha. Yeah, for sure. And those realtor champions that we supported, sure haven't forgotten we got their back.
You betcha.
Should we get ready for the year and start her up?
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Well, don't you know? Yeah, sure, you betcha. I had those glasses on, up there in that tater tit hot. That's just really good. Well, it's my a pleasure to be here. We had a RPAC video contest that we did at a Realtor Party convention at the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we had, 50, 60 videos, and I was very happy that our Minnesota group won that challenge. So pretty creative, huh? That wood chipper, we borrowed that from Fargo, Minnesota, don't you know? It starred in a movie there a few years ago. President Moses and I have been friends for a number of years now, and last night I told Moses earlier that the kids were really the star of the night last night. That's for sure, Moses. And a theme for me this year is to tell a story. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but as I look down here, I'm going to get at the 3 people that got the Community Service Award. Oh boy, that's what makes, it's unbelievable what you do, and you deserve another round of applause. Over here, I think, where did you go? My longtime friend. Congratulations on getting the award. I couldn't be happier today to see you get that award, and there's the RPAC award. Thanks. What is it, Clinton County? Yeah. Do you guys want to come up here and just get another award just for fun? Okay, let's go to the next slide, please. The National Association of Realtors. What we're going to talk about a little bit today is about our house. And it's our house, it's your house, and everyone is up. Let me give you a little history, first of all. Things that you didn't know about this house is that it was started, excuse me, I feel like the guy last night. Someone screwed up my stuff. I didn't have any beer beforehand, I can guarantee you. But our house was started in 1908. Amazingly, there were 120 founding members of our association. There were 19 boards. You talk about that mix, the 10 less than 10 per board. I think the Nebraska Association was the first state association of realtors. In the 1920s, there were no license laws. You wanted to sell real estate, go ahead and do it. There were no contracts for your attorneys out there. That would have been a little easier. There were no code of ethics. You wanted to put a deal together, you did it with a handshake. The formation of the National Association of Realtors came about because it was a very unethical business at that time. And that's when we started the National Code of Ethics. The term realtor was also started in Minneapolis. I didn't know that until a couple of weeks ago. A gentleman by the name of Charles Chadbourne, a broker in Minneapolis, coined the term realtor and sold the rights to that for $1. $1. He sold the word realtor for a penny. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. I'm amazed by people that just can't, either they can't spell. Where's the A come in? Where does that come in? I just don't know. I think the important thing, and I had a gentleman tell me years ago, and he looked at me and he's kind of a grumpier guy and been in the business he kind of looked like those guys that have been in business for a while. He looked at me and says, maybe if you want to go anywhere in this association, I got to tell you one thing, and I never want you to forget it, that this association is built on the hearts, minds, and backs of its members. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all of you, and let's give yourselves a round of applause. Next slide. Next slide, please. Oh, you can skip this. I'm going, here I am. I'm a realtor. Go ahead. Skipped all. I'm renovating our house. We have a new CEO at the National Association of Realtors. His name is Bob Goldberg. He's been about 15 months on the job, and he's done, I think, a fabulous job. Hello, Bob. As the president, he listens to me. I think I've got a little chip in me that tells me where I should be. But here's one of the things that Bob did, and I think that we all should be very proud of in this room, is that I think we right-sized our association, and I think we're treating it in many ways more like a business. Bob's a business guy, and that's where he came from, and that was his background. And what he did is he ordered a transformational audit of the National Association of Realtors. And that led to, I think we have 3 last senior vice presidents. We have 350 employees at the National Association of Realtors. This was just finished in November of this year. 300 of them, 300 of 350 employees at the National Association of Realtors now are working in a new team or a new area. And I think that that portends very, very well for the future of our association. Next slide, please. So today I get a chance to kind of go through this. You have on your seats today, you had some welcome home, and it talks a little bit about where we are with the National Association of Realtors. So I've got just a few minutes to go through it. Next slide. The foyer. As we enter the house, what's going to happen in the foyer? This is our member experience area. One of the great people at the National Association of Realtors, her name is Katie Johnson. And we created a new title this year. She is our Chief Member Experience Officer. Some of you that are involved in the National Association of Realtors know that she is also our Chief Legal Counsel. So member experience, one of the problems is we all have phones here, and some of you have already, I see out there, have already started to look at your phones. I'll be done quickly. But it's, so we don't wait anymore. We don't like to wait. And we need to repurpose how you visit the National Association of Realtors, how you enter our house, and how fast you can do it. And I saw some things last week I think that will be really great, and that's going to be something that's, I think, will be very positive, that will come out probably in June of this year. A couple of less clicks, get to the stuff that you want, find it quicker. Also in that area, I think, is in a very important part of this area is the security system. Data security, anybody heard of that today? I think I had 3 phishing emails this morning. 1 from a National Association of Real Estate site, and 2 from Edina Realty site that I belong with. It's so important. One of the things we don't talk about enough is what the protection we have for all of you, and we work very well with the states and locals on your legal protection. It is very important as we go forward. Next slide, please. The library. This is, have you all heard of Lawrence Yoon? No. Lawrence is one of the great speakers in the National Association of Realtors. I'm going to go quickly through Lawrence here, but this is where we do our research. This is where you can find your posts. And hopefully you can find all these easier. What I think the output here, and what I use very much in my business, the most important thing and the most popular thing that Lawrence does, he gives us our national buyer and seller reports. So go on there, you can find those national buyer and seller reports, and I think that you'll find that to be a great thing. Next up is member development. We're going to talk a little bit more about this area. This is our office or our study, and this is directed by a gentleman by the name of Mark Gould, a new senior vice president. What you might find here is this is our Center for Advanced Training. This is where you can find, I was talking to a group of people last night. How many people have the SIPS designation in the room here? That's one of the great, this is where you find it. You find it under Mark Gould's area. There were 2 other things I think that are important for you to hear today that are new developments in this area. What we've done, first of all, we've done the Center for Financial Wellness. We did a report just a few years ago, and I was amazed by the results. 40% of the realtors responded and said that they weren't prepared for financial emergency. They weren't prepared for retirement. Because it's a free program. I love free programs. I'm a realtor. I love free programs. It's a free program. I have gone out myself. I did some assessments. I gave them to a person that I work with outside of this, and I found a couple of areas that didn't fit for me. Take advantage of it. Next slide, please. Commitment to excellence. How many people have heard of this? Has anyone started to take the training? Duncan. I'm glad you did. You needed it. I neglected earlier to mention, to thank Duncan. Duncan and I are great friends, that's how I could say it. And I get a chance to travel around the country, and Duncan and his staff are admired, and I think he deserves a great round of applause for all that he does. Okay, we rolled out the Commitment to Excellence program. This is something we talked about, and Dawn has been, all the people at Max I see out there, here's the problem with the National Association of Realtors. Too many committees. We talked about it. Too much stuff. We talk about it. We never got it done forever and ever and ever. So we finally got a program that the members wanted to talk about professionalism, where we can go, and we launched this program in December of this year. I'm amazed. For this program, they told me that by May, our meetings in May, that we might have 5,000 or 6,000 people sign up by then. I'm very happy to tell you today is that people are more interested than they thought. Doesn't seem like a big numbers, but put it in perspective. Over 2 times the historical perspective for people that are going to do this meeting have signed up for this program. That's over 13,000 people so far. They expect that we might hit 20,000 people, maybe even 50 or 100,000 people by the end of the year. If you haven't signed up yet, it's like no other program. Again, the word is, I like it, 4 letters, free. And it doesn't take, it takes you down to your own course. It's not a designation, it is a designation, but it's not a course. Depending on where you're at and what kind of help you would like and what areas you're most interested in, it takes you there. Next slide, please. Let's talk about the garage. Dudes love garage. I have a cabin in northern Minnesota. I have 3 garages, and I can't put anything in it because it's full of stuff. But our garage at the National Association of Realtors is the strategic business and innovation and technology. One of the future superstars of the National Association is a guy by the name of Mark Birschbach. If you get a chance, check him out. He's doing a great job for this. This is where we look at new and emerging technology. The thing as an agent that I would be very excited about in this particular area is a program called REACH. Let's call it a venture capital program, and we've been doing it for 5 or 6 years. Just recently we were awarded one of the top accelerators for growing startup companies in any space, not just real estate in the country. And this is also where you can get involved in this REACH program. You can sign up. We have, I think, 10 or 11 or 12 companies that come to us. We pick them that are in the real estate space. There's a company now out there called Box Brownie. Anybody here use Box Brownie? Box Brownie, National Association of Realtors REACH program this last year. As a member, you can sign up to be a mentor. I'm looking out here at one of our great speakers out there, J-Man, and you can be a insight mentor for this by signing up. I'll give you where to go. Go to narreach.com/realtor. And this can give you a free early look at some of the new latest and greatest programs at the National Association of Realtors. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to say that this is a great program. We need to be at the front of technology. Next slide, I'm going to tell you why. These numbers are scary. And I asked for this slide, and it's $8 billion. $8 billion was in 2018 invested by venture capitals in what they use. The words they use are venture capital is space, real estate space. In 2016, that number was $2.2 billion. The people with the big money around the country are in love with our business. And they want a piece of it. And really what they think they want, they think they can do it cheaper. They want part of our commissions. They want part of our title fees. They want part of our mortgage fees. I think they want to get involved in our politics. We're seeing a very large company that begins with Z getting very involved in politics, not just your politics. We're working very hard. I was just in a meeting, and so that we understand this and where we're going as an industry. This is a big deal. MLSs fall into this category. You have some of the best MLSs. I think it's Hudson Gateway just joined, and your MLS exec there is revered around the country. We have to look, let's have see here? But we have to look at it. And a year ago, I stood in front of a group and I said, well, maybe we're going to get towards having less MLSs and it's going to, affect you and this. And I was almost booed off the stage. I went back to the same group, and maybe it was 2 years ago. I went back a year later, and they all said, Smaby, said, how can you help us merge? That's how fast things are changing in this world. I think we have to remember technology that does not ask for permission or say please or thank you. It just comes back at us. Things that we're looking at is prop tech. That's real estate property technology. Big data, predictive analytics, blockchain. Blockchain's going to be a great thing, I think, for the output there is going to be a great thing for our title and our mortgage business. I think we're going to see some really great things. AI and machine learning, virtual assistants. That's Amazon Alexa. We heard the kids say that last night. 20 years from now, that's going to be a major part of their lives. 2 years ago, we didn't even know what that is. So we're going to make sure and look very hard at that. 5G, we're talking today. 4G now, 5G, that just means we do it faster. What does 5G do? What does that mean? I'm thinking it's going to be some big word and it means 5th generation. 4G? Okay, 4th generation. I did not know that. Smart guys like Duncan maybe did. I did not know that until I started reading up on it, but everything is going to happen a lot faster. I'm going to skip through a few slides here because I'm taking too much time. Let's skip the dining room. Hey, we all like to eat. Okay, consumer ad campaign. One of the things, you all pay $35 a year for consumer advertising campaign. And we've done a horrible job. We've done a horrible job. I'm here to tell you, we've done a horrible job of delivering a product. We met for the last year with a company, and I was telling these guys, we saw this worst stuff, and I can't swear, the worst stuff I've ever seen in my life that they were going to put out for you when you're paying for it. We fired them. We started with a new group. I think we've got, I hope, I pray that we have something that you guys will love. Here's the 3 things. Is number 1, we're going to demonstrate the value of the realtor to the consumers. Okay? Number 2, we're going to distinguish the realtors from the rest. And number 3, and maybe this is most important, we're going to deliver back some pride in being a realtor. Oh, God, I hope and pray, please. I don't think I'll sleep until it comes out. But we've worked very, very hard. We're going to see the final, some of the final things tomorrow, maybe. We asked for a few more changes. If you were at the last convention, you saw some snippets of it. It's about who we are for realtors, and I think you'll be very proud of that. Next slide, please. Kitchen advocacy. We have big changes in this area also. This was done by, with Bill Malkasian just a year ago, took over the department in Washington, D.C. Those have been around for a while. We know we had two different silos, and they didn't speak to one another. And when Elizabeth and I met with Bob after he got hired, we said, that can't happen anymore. We got to work together. We also this year hired has anybody met Shannon McGann? She's our new chief lobbyist. Jared Giovanella was one of the greatest, a great friend of mine, did a great job for us. But Shannon brings us a great, new, exciting voice in Washington, D.C. I think all of us have been, I think we're a little tired of hearing about flood insurance and some of those things. I see it, we've heard about, some of it so often, over and over and over again, and that's a very important issue nationwide. I'm not making light of that, but we've got to look at some policies. And I think we're going to be working very hard for some of the policies that really affect realtors day to day, and we're going to fight for them. We're also going to do something we haven't done in the past. We're going to use some outside resources. We're going to hire some people that are that can go out there and lobby for us and lobby specific issues. People that lobby in D.C. Now, I'm told I'm not a real big political wonk. Duncan knows a lot more about it than I do. But now, if you have to lobby one side or the other, and the Republican caucus, they won't listen to a Democrat. Democrats won't listen to a Republican. So we're going to do some things, and I think you should be very proud of it. I think you'll see some nice output there. One of the things is you meet with your tax advisors. How many people have heard about the 20% tax? Okay. This can save you a lot of money. I just went and we talked to it this year with my tax advisor. He said, I didn't know about that, Smaby. He said, that's going to save me a ton of dough. Also, tax reform. Okay. We're going to keep working on the salt situation. We had a meeting last week. It affects New York, Minnesota, New Jersey, California. This is a work in progress. I think we'll see some nice changes there. I'm about over my time, so I'm going to skip the rest. I'm going to talk about some things that are really, really important to me. And if they can go up to the level, well, let's talk about the bathroom. Every house needs a bathroom. Anybody hear about our branding thing we tried to do last year, the leadership team? We had to flush away that problem. The bathroom is, again, where we clean up some of our things, and this is where but we need a bathroom. We really blew it on that one. We're going to work on it again. I apologize. It just is one of those things. If we could go skip up next to the love what we do. You can, okay. As with the three people in front of me tonight, I think we're all here because we believe in these three tenets. We love what we do. We love who we do it for. And I think as we look at the room today, we love who we do it with. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. I believe with all my heart that this is the greatest profession in the world, like no other. No other business in the world, and I've been involved with a lot of them, gives back like you do. It's amazing what we do. Everywhere I go, we have stories like this. We have stories that aren't maybe on as big a scope. We help out the city of Edina. The mayor calls me up last year and he said, hey, Smaby, I need some help. He said, the realtors are the people I call first because you guys actually stand up and do it. They needed some help repurposing a home in Minneapolis. I couldn't be there, unfortunately. But we got 15 realtors. We showed up the next week. We helped it and so on and so forth. He called me back a few weeks later and he said, here's the flip side of that. He said, you guys did a great job. He said, I gave you the number of the people at the paper and some of the things to do. Nobody ever called him back. You did the great work. Now you got to tell the story. We have to tell the story. I think that that's one of the things, and this is a theme, if we can go on to the next slide, please, is telling our story. And this is my plea to all of you, all the great work that you do. Tell that story in every available media channel all around the country. That is how we beat the disruptors. Talk about the good work that we do. That is the major way we can stop those people. Is that a computer can't help at a senior home. Please, please tell your story. And I want to end by saying your good work makes for great stories. That's why I'm here. I'm honored to serve in this association, but I can tell you I'm not a big deal. I'm a realtor. We get all of our information, comes up to us from all the great committee work that the people do, and we try to make our best decisions from there. I thank you for your involvement in your local association. I thank you for your involvement at the state association. And I can look around and I see many, many people who have given so much of their time to the National Association of Realtors. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your continued involvement and your commitment to the greatest business in the world.
Thank you. I got something for you. Stay on stage. You can sit. President John, I know you said you're not a big deal, but to New York, you are a big deal. Before I came, I run my software on the Schedule 199A. And for the effort that you have done, I know we got beat up with the tax reform and the SALT deduction. We were capped. But what has been accomplished over the last 12 months trying to get us to be in the game when it came to the 20% of our net income as a deduction was a huge win for our members in our industry. And I want to thank you and give you the second New York Own It coin with Bridging the Gap. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
NAR advocated and collaborated with Revenue Service and make sure we were part of that qualified business income so we can benefit. Finally, congrats to our award winners today. We have an association to be proud of. And I want to thank you all for coming today and enjoy the rest of our meetings. Thank you very much.